Yo, Yugi-fam. Hope everybody's having a great day. I wanted to share another deck profile for you guys. This time it's Salamangreats. I know there's a lot of deck profiles going on, but I really want to show you mine because I'm very excited about this deck. And yesterday I went to my locals, played this deck for the first time, went undefeated for 5 rounds. So game one, match number 1 was against Mekk. I won that one. Match number 2 was actually the mirror match, which was a draw. We ended in a draw. Unfortunately, we drew in time. I got game 1, he got game 2. We went to game 3. Match number 3 was against Strikers. I got that one. Match number 4 was against Guru Control. I managed to win that one as well. And then in top 4, I went up against Sky Strikers, and I managed to get that one. So yeah, it was really fun. 5 rounds is pretty good. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So oh crap! Now you guys know I play Rage. Fuck, that was my secret tech. All right, so for the Salamangreat monsters, Gazelle. Gazelle's arguably the best Salamangreat monster, right? He's your foolish. He special summons himself for free. Yeah, we got Spinny, 3 Spinny. Obviously, opening up these two assures that you have combo, so that's really good. I was debating whether to run 2 or 3 of this guy, but after testing and just seeing how well he performed yesterday, I would definitely play 3. Because the excavation is really good. He's a +1, and to have him and Gazelle in hand is really good, because when you send Gazelle for the link 1, when you send Foxy for the link 1, Gazelle triggers. And then lastly, for the last 2 Salamangreats, we run Jack Jaguar and we run Falco. Jack Jaguar is just really good. He triggers your Sunlight Wolf. He's a 4, and so is Falco. They're the only two Salamangreat 4s. Falco sets back your spell or traps from the graveyard, and Jack Jaguar recycles like your extra deck monster, special summons itself. This can also like recycle an extra deck monster by bouncing it from the field back to the extra deck. So yeah, all these cards have great utility. Foxy also is just, man, I love this card. Okay, so this card in the grave, unfortunately, what I hate about this card is that you can only use one of the effects once per turn. You can't use both effects in the same turn. But like later in the game, if you need to pop like a face-up spell or trap anywhere, it could be on your field, it could be on your opponent's field, you discard a Salamangreat card from your hand to the graveyard, you special summon this, and then you pop the card. So he gets rid of floodgates. This guy's just an MVP. Like, Foxy's great. I always knew he was good ever since he was first released in I believe Soul Fusion. I knew it was good just from reading it. Okay, now for the support card, we got Lady Debug. I like Lady Debug a lot. Some people are playing the Flame Buffalo, which I believe is very good because it's a Cyberse, it's a fire. And I understand why people would choose that card over this card, or like cut this card down to like 1 or 2 and then play 1 or 2 copies of the other card. But Lady Debug allows you to search for a specific level 3 or lower Cyberse, whereas Flame Buffalo, you need to discard a Cyberse, draw 2, and then you're not even guaranteed to draw 2 cards that are beneficial to your combo. So that's why I chose Lady Debug. That's why I prefer Lady Debug, because I can get my Gazelle like 100%. And so it's a great starter. I'm not sure which one I like more. Like, it depends on your hand. I might choose to summon Foxy over this if I have access to Gazelle already, but otherwise, if I don't have access to Gazelle, I would need to summon Lady Debug first. And then lastly, I played 2 Crusadia Reclusias, besides the hand traps, obviously. This card performed amazing. Going first, it's a combo extender because special summons itself to a pointer that a link that a link monster has. So like if a link monster's pointing anywhere, you know, you just on your side of the field, you special summon this. And when you go second, when it's special or normal summon to a link monster's pointer, it can like pop a Crusadia monster and pop a card that your opponent controls. So you pop him and you pop any card that your opponent controls. So if they have like a Floodgate, if they have like a problematic monster, if you want to bait something in the back row, going second, this is a great card. It's a fire, it's a 3, like everything is just great about this card. If it was a Cybers, that's the only thing that would make this card better. And then going over the hand traps, we got 3 Ash and then 3 Veiler for the monsters. I chose Ash because Ash is by far my favorite hand trap ever. Like legit, I'm just biased towards it. This card is like my favorite hand trap. That's why I always want to run it. No, but that's not the only reason why. Obviously, Ash is known. I don't even need to explain Ash, man. Thank God for the common reprint. Now a lot of people have access to it, except I always prefer the secrets, obviously. Because I have the secrets, man. All right, so then Veiler. So Veiler is, for all the combo decks, Veiler is amazing, right? Can't be chain blocked. They could chain as many links as they want, right? They could have as many chain links, and then you make, Veiler the last chain link, and you still negate their monster. So that's why I like Veiler a lot. And Veiler's not once per turn. So if I draw multiples, I can use both of them in a single turn, which is great. So Impermanence is the same thing, but Impermanence requires you to have no cards, but Veiler's just like... So Veiler's also good. And then moving on to the spells, we have one of the best Rotas ever printed. It's a quick play Rota. It's monster protection. You don't really use the secondary effect, which is to target a link monster, a Salamangreat link monster, and protect it from monster effects. It's mostly the Rota, but what I do like is that if you draw multiples, you could set 1, activate 1, and then during your opponent's like end phase, or if they try to activate a monster effect that would get rid of your link, you could always protect it. So it's very versatile. The fact that it's a quick play is really good. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard, but it's a great way to play around Droll. Like if they chain Droll, this is a quick play. You could just chain this and still get your search before Droll resolves. Also, if you want to activate it like during the draw phase, because Droll can't activate during the draw phase, but you could activate this quick play spell. So you could like get your search, and then they can't Droll you, and then you could get another search later in your turn, and they could Droll you afterwards. This card, I was playing one, but then I realized I kind of want to see this card a bit more. It's a Monster Reborn for the archetype. It could special once per turn during your main phase. You could special summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard. But then its secondary effect is a Soul Charge, which is just like crazy. It's a continuous Monster Reborn, like during each of your main phases, once per turn, obviously, but that was good enough. But to give it another effect that's like a Soul Charge effect, so like if you have a Salamangreat Link monster, you could like send this card to the graveyard and then special summon monsters from your graveyard up to its link rating in defense position, or from your hand, which is crazy. So like you could like summon 1 monster from your hand and then 2 monsters from your graveyard, or depending on your Salamangreat's link monster. It's just really good overall. Damn, this card's just fantastic. I would highly recommend playing like more than 1 copy of that card. And then we have the Fusion of Fire and Salamangreat Sanctuary. Fusion of Fire. Oh my god, man, I can't explain how many times I OTK'd people with the Fusion. Like, it happened in every match. In every match, I would summon the Fusion and go for an OTK. It's just so crazy that this deck has a win condition like that. And then for Salamangreat Sanctuary, you only play 1 because it's searchable off the link 1. You don't need to play multiples. I mean, you could play multiples, I guess, but I prefer not to. I just prefer to search it, and then like you could always reset it. You could always recycle it with like your link monsters and stuff like that. So one is good enough. Same thing with the Fusion of Fire. It's you could get access to it easily by Gazelle. You could reset it with Falco. You could return it back to your hand with Sunlight Wolf. So you don't need to play too many, just so you don't like clog. I guess you could side one. You could side an extra one. So when you go against the mirror, like you want to open this card against the mirror, because like you could use like their link and their Salamangreat monster to summon your fusion. So I guess that's really good. Call by the Grave, another great card, another like fantastic card actually. Obviously very known for stopping hand traps, but more than stopping hand traps, it's a great like interruption. It's a great interruption for against so many archetypes. Like the mirror match, it's really good for the mirror match. You could banish Spinny from the grave. You could banish Gazelle. You could banish Sunlight Wolf when they reincarnation link. You could banish the Sunlight Wolf so they can't get Sunlight Wolf's secondary effects. You can banish Ray when they chain Ray to Area Zero's effect. Just such a good card, man. It's not a $4 common for nothing. And then lastly, not lastly, I'm sorry, almost second to last, two Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters in this deck, with the meta currently, Guru Control, and Sky Strikers, and the Altergeist. This is very necessary, especially to stop floodgates. If you go second against like Guru, then you're likely gonna lose if you don't like open up something to get rid of like their back row or floodgates or anything like that. So Twin Twisters is just great. This deck, what I love about this deck, it's very like, it's open. You can play around with the different techs you want to play in this deck. Maybe different. I wouldn't recommend different engines in this deck, only because it works best pure. But what I mean is like you could main Gozen match. You could main like Rivalry. You could play Strikes. You could play all these other, like you could play Imperial Order. It just, because you don't need much to start your combos. But anyway, I would highly recommend Twin Twisters. Just for now, until we see what happens later on in the meta, I would highly suggest at least maining 2. It worked out fantastic for me, by the way, if any of you were wondering. And then Foolish Burial. I play the one Foolish because it's an extender pretty much. I can Foolish Spinny if I need Spinny in the grave, so I can like summon it. If I need anything else in the grave, Foolish can give it to me, so I like that. I play 3 Impermanence. This card is not necessary if you guys don't have Impermanence. I mean, Impermanence is amazing, don't get me wrong, but you don't need Impermanence to play the deck. Obviously, you could always like play 3 Strikes. You could play Forbidden Chalice, which I really like. Yeah, so, or you could play like 3 more. You could like main Drolls if you wanted to. But what I like about Impermanence is that it's another way to like stop like the Crusadia Guard Dragon decks. It's another way to stop like Thunder Dragon Dangers, because Saryuja's like really big right now. Also in the mirror match, you stop like you stop the Link 1 Bela Links, which is really good. You could stop Gazelle. Impermanence is just all around good. You could always set it and then negate something in the same column. But yeah, and then I played 2 Roar and 1 Rage. Most of the time you want to go after Roar because it negates anything and it's a counter. Salamangreat Rage, sometimes I choose Salamangreat Rage over Roar. It depends what I'm going up against. If I know the negation is not going to be as strong as the like removal, then I'll go for this. What I like about Roar though is that it resets itself. That's what's so broken about this card, is that like you can just reset it with its own effect when you reincarnation link. By the way, reincarnation link is when you link a monster using its same name. So like for example, if I link this away to summon the same one, that's like a reincarnation link. I think that's what they call it in the anime. Alright, so that is it for the main deck. That's 41 cards. And then we run 3 Bela Links. This guy's so cute. Look at him. So adorable. Has look like Charmander's tail, right? like fire on his tail. That's like Charmander right there. So yeah, it's your field spell searcher. It searches for the field spell when it's link summoned. Also, it has a Return of the Dragon Lords effect where it protects any Salamangreat card or cards on the field from being destroyed by battle or card effect. You can banish this instead. So if they would be destroyed, you could banish this instead from your grave, which comes up like almost every game. What I like about it is that it protects multiple cards at once. So if they try to like use something that would pop like multiple cards on the field, you could banish this and like save your Salamangreat cards, which I like. So then we run 3 Sunlight Wolf. Okay, 3. We run 3. I was borrowing 1 because I have 1 coming in the mail. So I was borrowing 1 yesterday, but you run 3. Okay, 3 this card. This card is arguably the best Salamangreat extra deck monster, because it is this is what helps you manage your resources so well. You can add a fire type monster from your graveyard back to your hand. You could like bring back Ash with this card back to your hand. You add your Salamangreat spells or traps from your graveyard to your hand. When you reincarnation link, you could activate that effect. If it manages to survive and it stays on the field, you could activate that effect next turn. Oh man, such a good card. Alright, 3. Remember, you run 3 of this card. Mandatory. 3. 2 Heat Leo. The only reason we run 2 is to reincarnation link, so we could use its secondary effect to make our opponent's monsters attack low. Like, so if its effect on link summon, when it's link summoned, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls, shuffle it back into the deck. That effect is not once per turn, so if you use it and then you reincarnation link into another one, then you could use that effect again. But the reason we want a reincarnation link is to use its secondary effect, that when it's link summoned using a monster with its same name, you can target one monster in your graveyard and then 1 monster on the field, and then that monster on the field becomes its attack becomes equal to the monster you target in the graveyard. So if you target an Ash in the grave and your opponent's monster becomes 0, and that's what allows you to go for that OTK. And then for the generic links, we have Phoenix, we have Borrelsword, we have Borreload. No need to cringe. I know this is so if you're gonna choose choose this, okay? Because we have the fusion OTKs. So Borrelsword is just like another way to OTK, but we mostly go into the fusion to OTK. So this is not necessary. I feel like Borreload is more necessary because Borreload is non-destruction, non-targeting removal, and he steals your opponent's monster. So like that's what's so good about this card, and he can't be targeted by monster effects. So it's like a big, like, this card is insane. This card, I would definitely choose this over Borrelsword in this deck specifically. And then I recommend playing Phoenix. Phoenix is just a fire. It's a link to, it's generic. It's spot removal, and you could use it to go into Sunlight Wolf, because Sunlight Wolf says 2 fire effect monsters. You could use it to go into Heat Leo, because Heat Leo says 2+ fire effect monsters. So Phoenix, just play Phoenix. And then if you're gonna choose one, play Borreload. Even though Borrelsword does come up, Borreload is the better choice. Otherwise, just you could play like Transcode Talker. You could play like any of the other links. And then 2 Marat Stalio. You don't need 3. I never found myself going into 3 because, again, this deck does a great job of recycling its extra deck monsters. So yeah. And then Abyss Dweller. And then finally the Violet Chimera. This guy is the MVP. I hope he gets printed in like a higher rarity because this card is just awesome. It's like it gains attack equal to half of the total attack of the monsters you used to fusion summon it. So like if you used Heat Leo, that's like 1150. If you used like a Salamangreat monster with 1000, that's like 500, and he gains that attack. And then if he attacks a monster with an attack that is different from its original, and remember we modify the attack with this guy, he takes double damage. So it's like a one-shot kill. Abyss Dweller is, I barely summon Abyss Dweller. It's good for certain matchups. You could easily summon him with Falco and Jaguar, and just summon him and sit on him and like stun your opponent. Well, guys, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun playing this deck yesterday. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're building the deck. Let me know if you're interested in this deck. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day as always.